at the moment I'm going through the score for Mangroves. So the Reef Orchestra will be performing this piece. It's a 15-minute piece written by Peter Sculthorpe with percussionists and strings and brass instruments as well. And the challenge is that the film we've made goes for 15 minutes. It gets played behind the orchestra on the big screen, and usually the orchestra plays to the film, so the conductor will watch the film and at the right times in the films will cue the orchestra. But we're doing it differently with this project, where the film is actually accompanying the orchestra. So the musicians will play through and the conductor will play through the piece, and we have to stay in sync with the video. You'd think that's nice and simple, you know, orchestra starts in the beginning, video starts in the beginning, but over 15 minutes, maybe on the night the conductor and the orchestra, and they might play longer, you know, a bit slower, or they might play certain sections of the piece faster. So the challenge is to stay in sync with the video. And if you even look at like this section in the score, it comes up, there's a pause in it. And I know that Raymond, the conductor, depending on the night and the vibe and what's happening with the orchestra, he might decide to hold this a bit longer, or he might decide to go quickly through this pause into the next section, which means as the person controlling the video, it's going to be a bit of a challenge to stay in sync.
I really think that audio and visual work very well together. I love collaborative things for that point. It just adds that extra element.
Everyone kind of collaborated, came up with different ideas, and we ended up dividing the piece into segments that each filmmaker could focus on, based on the filmmaker's interest as well, but also as a whole to create a story to take the audience through, which enhances the music.
I think orchestra can be a really great experience, but I've always thought it would be fantastic to see some really great visual collaboration.
As a contemporary piece, it tends to evoke a lot of imagery in your mind when you're listening to it, so I think it's really interesting to see what artists are putting with the music.
I think it's great to combine two different art forms, and I think it'll be really enjoyable for the audience to get a visual view as well as listening to the music, and I think it'll help them to understand the music.
Obviously it's going to add another dimension to the concert, having sort of things going on stage whilst the orchestra's playing along. I think just putting a dance routine and sort of movement on the stage should be really exciting. Quite a challenge for the conductor.
For me it's very exciting because it's the first time I've ever been involved in a project like this. I think it's exciting for the musicians too, because it's not just a normal concert. There's a whole nother element in it for them to be aware of and to work within, and also to see other people's interpretation, and in this sense visually, of the music. So where one person might have one sort of imagination of what the music could be, it's very different from another, and seeing what actually someone's come up with and putting it all together, I think is very interesting.
I'm really excited about it. I think it's another aspect that's good for the orchestra to be involved in. It certainly had some technical difficulties in the setup, but that's really the way a lot of the music's going these days, with some AV support at the background. I think it's fantastic that the collaboration's happening locally in Townsville here, and that the local people are involved. That really tends to network the orchestra to other people, and it's going to open some doors to some other ideas further down the track. So it's maybe the first opportunity we've worked in this style, but I don't think it's going to be the last.
It's kind of brought a completely different dimension to just playing music, knowing that there's going to be something actually visual to look at, and especially with the type of music that it is. I'm really excited to see how it comes out on the night, and just how the audience responds to this.